these sports federations do not belong to government. Government have a responsibility. Government have a role to support sports. For so many other reasons, in this country, it has been turned into a political kind of, I mean, the normal secular politics. It's taken over, what you call the governance of the federations. The federations themselves are supposed to be autonomous in both their relationships. But government, of course, will have to support, in part funding some major events. This is a third world country. It's a developing country. We cannot do entirely without government support. Otherwise, ordinarily, it's supposed to be run by the private bodies. That's exactly what private bodies.
Ken, if I may comment, I think where the challenge lies, because I remember the case of Jimoh Bodo and Alhaji Rahim Adejumo, I think back in 1995, 96.
Very correct.
Now, I think the challenge there is this. He said government should support, but we have a situation where government is solely funding this organization. So it will pay the piper, absolutely will dictate the tune. So I think that is where we have the challenge. One is federations always go hand in hand to government for 100% of funding. Government cannot dissociate themselves from where they drop their funds, because government will also, the executive will also need to defend this budget, this subvention before the national parliament.
Okay, so let me put the question before him. Let me ask you the question he's trying to explain.
Yeah.
That the federations are supposed to be private, or non-governmental private organizations. Mm-hmm. I mean, and then also, like you said, they when they take our athletes, because the Nigerian athletes now, I mean, that is, they take them for competition. Now, if does the funding go beyond that? When they are going for commission, they go for government for funding for competitions, or they also go for government for to fund the chairs, their salaries, their everything in the federation?
Now, I don't think there's any federation that the government is funding the salaries.
Okay.
I will tell you that every member of the board of the federation, that I know much, do not earn salaries, including yours truly. I don't receive a monthly salary. We are all volunteers trying to run it. And of course, that's why, well, like an NGO, we have to go to private bodies to support us. That in alone will give you some level of autonomy, some level of confidence in running without anybody breathing over your neck. But like I told you, this is a developing country. And for crying out loud, most of the corporate institutions do not even understand what is really going on. You mentioned the case of Alhaji Adejumo. That is my hero, as far as I'm concerned. He started the fight, which we have just recently continued, about what you call the autonomy for the different federations. If you remember this last, I'll just quickly digress into that now. If you remember this last elections.
We'll come into that.
Okay, so let me just let me just leave that. It is part of the issues. Government, and I will tell you, there is nowhere in the world, even the most developed countries, that do not have some government support, either directly or indirectly. Especially, government will not come in openly. Do you have in the US, for example, what you call a federal ministry of sports? But government have their own way of getting into the issue. They create what you call enabling environments. In London, or rather in Britain, they use the tax, the lottery toss very efficiently.
Yes.
We have a lottery toss fund in this country. How far is that? Fortunately, well, my president is the CEO. But,
good.
But what we find out is that he has his own limit. He has his own constraints, because I'm very close to him, and I try to jump sign to do certain things, but unfortunately, he has limitations.
You're looking at your personal relationship with
him. Well, maybe.
But, you didn't look at the structure, or giving him that.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, there are things there, but let us come back to that.
Okay.
Because there is no way you will be here and we avoid looking at what transpired.
Yeah, sure.
Do the government have the right to conduct elections for federations?
Absolutely not, in the first instance. But I will tell you what. And why it happened this time around, and why it will never happen again. And of course, the Honourable Minister said so. It was a big, let me put it this way, you don't go out to say you're fighting a battle, but we're trying to resolve an issue that has been, like I said, we've been living a lie. This issue started when the new minister came, and if I have to give one thing, no matter what anybody says there, they can quote me. I respect the Honourable Minister for this particular move of his, that says this will be the last time government will ever conduct elections. Getting to this point, I will tell you, in the year 2012, so that you can understand this well. Year 2012, there was a case like this.
Yeah.
There was an issue which even stemmed from basketball. And the issue was the Tijani regime came in through this same kind of government thing. I'm not particularly about basketball now, but actually every federation came in. I was still coming, that was my first time in office. But I said, this is not going to happen again. Then there was the issue, it generated up to CAS. And at the end of the day, nobody, no country is the NOC, the international body we relate with, to tell you exactly this is, to tell them the position of what happens. So we were consulted. And of course, I would not say in public here that it was a lie, but we had to protect the interests of the country at that moment in time. And I said, okay, fine, we were part of it. And that was why all those elections at that time would have been scrapped.
Okay, hold it there. We'll be back. We're taking a break. And when we come back, he will tell us why those elections would have been scrapped and why they were not.